Hello, how you cats doing? Today, I want to talk about gold and silver, okay? And I want to teach you guys and show you, because I have a lot of stuff laid out here, that how important gold and silver is in the world. I kind of think gold and silver is the world money, because everybody uses it. I mean, China, Russia, Africa, you know, Mexico, everybody has gold. You know what I'm saying? United States, Canada, Europe, everybody is using gold, okay? So that's like the floor, as far as I'm concerned, because you can't just print it up like a dollar bill, okay? A dollar currency, you can print as much of that as you want, okay? And I did some study and I did research about the gold and paper currency. They call it fiat currency. Okay. Now, in this country, at one point we were using gold and silver. We was actually spending gold and silver. I mean, that's how we traded. I mean, we had, I think it was bronze, copper, we also had those coins, but we basically, at one point, we were using gold and silver to buy. And to me, that's real value, because that came from the ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians used it for masks and for jewelry. And when the Europeans saw that, the Greeks and the Romans came in, they were like, look, that must be some value. You know what I'm saying? That they started making coins, and they made gold and silver coins, and that kind of went, all over the world. And that's what people saw the real value is, because you just can't dig up gold real easy. I mean, you could dig up gold, but it comes in little bitty rocks and little bitty pebbles and stuff like that, right? So you just can't print it up like paper, okay? So once people started, basically most of the gold was held, they said, mostly by the rich, okay? And then smaller coins and stuff was the regular citizens. But gold was like a status symbol, and it's always been like that, and I think it's always will be like that, okay? So when the government, especially like when our government, when they started printing up paper, money, they would distribute that out, and in America they would basically print up the paper to finance the war, okay? And they would say they didn't have no Federal Reserve and nothing like that, so it was just like the government. They were like, well, we're gonna print this up, and we want you guys to take it. I'm pretty sure a lot of them guys back there in the Western days, at the little corner store, they like, look, this paper, you know what I'm saying? I want some gold or something. Give me some foreign currency or coins or something. But I'm pretty sure that didn't go over too well, and it didn't. So when the first coins, you would think that that's the dollar, and that's how we end up going into the dollar that we have today. Well, the first $2 that we had, the currencies that we had was the colonial. It's this right here. This was in the 1690 something, right? I don't know if you can see this. I got light. I hope it ain't coming in with all different colors, but this was the first dollar that we had, okay, or the note that we had, all right? And this was called the colonial. And the colonial, a lot of people, they used it, and the government issued it out. But the problem is that you was able to get goods and services, and all you got was a piece of paper. I copied this off a line, but this is what it looked like, okay? And it went in circulation, and it was backed by so-called gold and silver and people's cattle. And at one point, people would try to trade it back in, and it would be like, look, we ain't giving you no gold and silver for that. So eventually, it eventually collapsed. So this is the colonial. This collapsed. And you say, well, hey, I didn't know a dollar had collapsed. Yeah, it collapsed, okay? So we end up doing it again. In 1775, we do it again. We create another currency called the continental, okay? And then this was supposed to be backed by gold and silver. But the problem was that America was having wars and revolutionary wars, and I don't know how much stuff. Don't tell me how much money the government was spending. Back then, debt was like 19 million something. That was a whole lot back then. But that gave the government an endless supply of money to spend, right? and they would back it by basically the citizens' material stuff, their land and their gold or silver, whatever they had, it was backed by this, and they would print this out, and they'd tell the citizens, look, you need to take this, you need to accept this. You ain't an American citizen, you ain't a patriot if you ain't taking this. You know what I'm saying? So people would be like, okay, I'll take it. But the government was printing up so much of this paper, to finance what they wanted with the wars and the soldiers and all of that, that the value of this started to fall. It started to fall. You see what I'm saying? Instead of going and getting $1 for something, people wanted $2. Okay, well look, you giving me this, I want $2. Okay? Then the cat said, look, I want about $6 now for this, because I don't trust this. Then they wanted 20. Then they wanted 100. Eventually, this became worthless. Nobody wanted to accept it. If they don't accept your dollar, if the people don't accept your dollar, this will crash. Okay. So in 1913, they came out with another one. Okay, they came out with new currency. They said, look, this was the Federal Reserve. I think this was on Jekyll Island. They had made an agreement that, look, we're gonna create this new currency. Okay, and it was this same thing, same paper, same paper. Only difference is this is the actual thing. I got this at a coin shop. This is the actual coin. Okay, and it says like pay to the, let's see. And you got to pay it in silver. When they go to the bank, you pay it in silver. Okay? This equals this. This was the backing for it. Okay? This was the backing for this. Okay? And then when you had this was the dollar here, this was the backing for it. You had silver. All right? So it made this pretty strong. I can trust this now if I know I can go to the bank and just get my money back. Because in the old days, instead of people had gold and silver. They would go to, instead of them constantly carrying around a bunch of gold and silver, they would go to the bank and say, look, bring it to me, and I'll give you a note. Okay? I'll give you a note so you can carry it around, and you can, whoever gets it, they can come and they can get the gold at the bank. The problem is that the government would print up too much of this. Or the Fed, they would print up too much of this, right? And then they would start going into debt doing this, right? They even had it to where they had the $20 too, right? Paid to the borrower a $20 piece. This is a newer version and certified, but they would pay you that. I don't know if you can see that, but that's 1 ounce of gold. Right? And that was $20 here, and there's your $20. You could go to the bank and give them $20. They give you a $20 gold piece. Okay, that was back in the day. That was back in the 1929s and 1920s. Okay, that's how they was rolling. Because after the war, these countries had made an agreement that we was gonna bring all our gold to America and store it here, and that made our currency real strong. Okay, and it was backed by gold. The rest of the world looked at that and said, look, we can deal with this country. Okay, they dollar is strong. Okay, so that's basically what we're dealing with today. But the problem is we ain't had so many wars. We ain't spent so much money. We ain't went into serious debt. Okay? We ain't went into I think we up to, the last time I did a video talking about this, I think it was 17. This was a couple years ago. It was 17 trillion. Now we up to almost $20 trillion, and constantly going up. Every year it looks like $1 trillion is added on. And if Hillary or Trump get in there, it's going to be the same thing. The only thing I think of is Trump might crash it. Wall Street boys, no telling what they lying to do. You see what I'm saying? So, look, people always say that the Federal Reserve is, your money is protected, and they will insure and give it back your money, and the Federal Reserve is just printing up money and all that, and you got to figure out, what does that mean to me? How does that affect me? I got my money in the bank. What does that do for me? How's that hurting me? Well, what they're doing is, you got the dollar, okay? You got the $20. You got the dollar here, but it's not backed by gold no more. It's not backed by gold and silver no more. You see what I'm saying? In 1979, Nixon went off of that standard. So it's not backed by this no more. They said it's just air. Okay? I go a step further. It's not air. It's not just backed by air. It's backed by what you have in your 401k, what you have under your mattress, what you got hiding underneath this, or in your attic, or wherever you in your bank. And when you talk about black banks, okay, I like black banks, and we need to shop black. But it's none of that stuff. That's the same thing. They using that money. The more the government go out here and have a war and go out here and spend, they're spending your money. They're spending the value of your money, and you don't really know it because you think, well, I got this dollar. That's all I care about. Yeah, but at what cost? That dollar is slowly losing value. When I showed you this right here, this was worth $20 back in the day, right? $20. This was equal. The equal sign right in there. This was equal, right? Today, this thing is worth $1,300 or $1,400. Okay? See, this right here, the silver, the silver with the silver dollar, that's equal back in the day, right? Now, this is worth about $20. It got as much as $50. Okay? A lot of black people I know are buying gold. A lot of black people are buying gold. I mean, you basically have to understand that you have to have some kind of hard currency, gold and silver, so these people won't keep deflating your money, causing your money to fall. Okay? See, you trust in this dollar, but the dollar is very weak. We $20 trillion in debt. Russia in 1998 currency collapsed. I mean, the dollar just it lost its world value, right? And they only had, if I'm not mistaken, y'all may have to research this yourself, but it was like $40 billion with a B. We are $20 trillion in debt. We'll never be able to pay that off. Okay? So you got to look at one day. It's going to come to where they're going to collapse this currency. You see what I'm saying? And I don't care if you got $1 million in the bank account. I don't care if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a psychologist, a football player, baseball player. They are going to collapse this currency. They have no choice. You see what I'm saying? And the smart people, they're sneaking out the back. They're taking money, taking this money, gathering their money, and buying gold. They go to the U.S. Mint. They go to eBay. They go to Kinko's, whoever sells it. They're sneaking out the back. They got offshore things, gold money and all that, and bit money and all that. Big gold. They got so many gold things. See, they getting ready. China is telling their citizens to buy gold. Okay? They're telling their citizens to buy gold and silver, buy gold, and they come on the news. Do they say that here? No. Because they're going far as the way I see it, this currency is going to collapse. It has no choice. Even the Bible talked about it. It said in one day, in 1 hour, those people were broke, and they would never be able to find that again. They'll never be able to find that wealth again. Okay? Our currency, our dollar, what they call the greenback, it's strong now. It's okay. It's all right. It's been losing value for sure. I mean, because you see inflation constantly going up. But eventually, it's going to just collapse. And the Bible says stuff like they needed a whole week's pay just to pay for groceries. Okay? So brothers and sisters, if y'all don't get some gold, get some silver, stack some of your money in gold and silver, you see what I'm saying? If you don't do that, you see what I'm saying? You're going to lose it. You're going to lose. Your money is going to be worth 10 cents. Your money will probably still be in the bank account. It'll still be under your mattress. Okay? But the problem is that it's going to lose value every day, every week. It could do something like Zimbabwe. The president, Robert Mugabe, was trying to help his people, trying to get them their land back, and the British and America put sanctions on it, and its currency collapsed. Okay? And Mugabe was trying his best to stay afloat, keep his country afloat. People upset, mad. You know what I mean? They money have less and less value. So what he did is he kept putting zeros on his dollar. So instead of $1, it's $10. Instead of $10, it's $100. His money. I went to a coin show. I saw his money, and it was like it's a collectible item now. So what I'm saying, here's the actual coin. I mean the actual dollar. All right, right here. $500,000. Okay, and this was able to buy you a stick of gum in 2008. Okay, I mean he got so it got so bad to where one American dollar was almost the same as I think it was $50 trillion. Okay, 50 trillion. That's when a currency collapsed, and that sends his country economy into just a tailspin. Them folks had to do all kind of stuff. I saw a video about how their currency had collapsed, and the poor was just like, man, not we. They were blaming Mugabe. It wasn't really his fault. You see what I'm saying? He had they was at the riverbeds panning for gold. And, you know, that was sort of like a savior. And what would and here's my solution for that. I heard a guy in Argentina say the same thing when their currencies collapsed. He said we needed to buy gold, because when their currency collapsed, you got to have enough gold to keep you afloat, because that gold that's the world's money, and it basically stays the same. This is the only thing that changes. It falls. Okay? So, brothers and sisters, you know, we have to look at doing smart stuff with our money. I mean, we can put it in black banks because you still got a deal. But you need a certain percentage of your money in gold and silver. And you say, well, I can't afford that. You know, that's a lot of money. They got it smaller. This is a Canadian, 1/20th of an ounce. This is the half of a penny. So, I mean, a half of a dime, or 1/10. You know what I'm saying? That's about $100. Back in the day, it was probably like 30. This stuff is constantly going up. It'll fluctuate a little, but, you know, it's going to keep going up. Because the more they keep printing up these dollar bills, and they balancing the budget and taking care of that dollar, it's going to keep, that stuff is going to keep going up. And they ain't going to tell you about it. It's going to tell you how great the economy is. Okay? So, that's just something to think about. Last thing. I guess this is the last thing. I know I'm probably missing some stuff because, you know, I wrote some stuff down. I heard Damon Wayans say, I saw him in an interview. That's the Wayans brothers. Damon Wayans, he'll tell you. He said, he was talking about people in America. He said, y'all better buy gold. Y'all better buy gold. But you see these right here? These are mercury dimes, right? They're so small. You probably won't be able to see them. They're real little, right? Like the same as a dime, right? This is the same money. It's just a little different design, right? The only thing is it had 90% silver, right? These little dimes right here, I can still buy a gallon of gas. And you say, 2 dimes? Man, get out of here. Is it because it's old or something? Get out of here. You can't do that. Yes, I can. And I can prove it. Okay? These 2 little dimes, back in the 1920s, a gallon of gas was about 20 cents. Okay? It was about 20 cents. Now today, man, gas is $2, $3 and all that, right? I could go to eBay, trade it on there. This would probably go for about $2 or $3. $2 or $3, right? Now, you know what I'm saying? I got about $5, $6, right? Then I could buy me that gallon of gas with no problem. You know what I'm saying? So really, the gold and the silver really never lost any value. It was only the paper. And like I say, it's because they printing up so much of it. Okay? So, well, I think I just about hit a lot of things. Oh, and another thing. What I was telling you about Zimbabwe, his economy, eventually, once his currency collapsed, his economy, the inflation started rising up. That means prices are rising up. And it eventually hit what they call hyperinflation. That meant prices really went up real high, right? And that makes things horrible, okay? That means bread, instead of bread being $1, it's now $10, okay? Instead of a TV being $100, now it's $1,000, okay? That's what hyperinflation does when a currency collapses. But if they would have backed their currency by gold and silver, they would have never had that problem. But the problem is it ain't that much gold and silver for people to back. Governments are buying gold. China's buying gold. Russia is buying gold. America, so-called, have gold in Fort Knox. They just won't let you. They haven't audited. I don't know what the heck is about that. I don't know if it's in there or not. You know, audit. Let's see where the gold is. See where our gold is. You know what I'm saying? But every country out there, India buying gold. India loves gold. India. You go in the Indian shop, you see gold there, boy. You just be like, amazed. You know what I'm saying? You know, Africa has gold. And like I say, black people in this country are starting to buy gold. And they ain't even started. They've always been doing it. I've known this for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And they've been buying it way before that. You ever go into your grandparents' closet and stuff? You know, they show you these old coins and stuff. Back in the day, we were spending this. This was 90% silver. They were spending gold. You know, it was currency. That's how strong our country was. Okay? So, and like I say, you can go to the U.S. Mint, Gold Money, eBay. You can search all them places. Study. Here's a book. You know, the red book. This is an old one, but there's a red book about gold and silver. Here's a foreign book, you know, about coins, you know. But everybody needs that, okay? So I think I about covered everything. You see what I'm saying? And you know, here's a thought. Oh, and then one last thing. They talked about seizing gold. You know, the government. Oh, you could get all that gold and they'll seize it and all that. Look, good luck with that. Okay. I don't know who gonna give up their gold after all them years and grandmother's gold and passed down to you. I don't know who gonna give all that up for some dollar bills. Okay, so you know it's just like guns. You can do what you want to do. People gonna keep their guns. You know what I'm saying? Sure, I won't killing and all that to stop. You know what I'm saying? But people gonna keep their guns. You know, not everybody gonna give up their guns because it's getting too violent. Okay, and hopefully that will improve. Okay. So, and here's my last saying. Whoever has the gold makes the rules. All right, brothers and sisters. I hope that helped, and I hope I was able to present it pretty good for you. All right. Peace.